Hey everybody, I thought I would just take a minute and show you guys my ghetto rig that I have finally up and going. Yeah, it's not the most efficient, but it is at least working and it is stable. Right now I am currently pulling 1.6 kilohashes mining Monero, and it's pretty steady. So the cards that I have, I know a lot of the miners that are out now, they have rigs that have really high-end cards, and I wish I could have high-end cards, but I basically have cards that were just lying around that I had from either sourcing them out of computers or kind of getting deals from friends, trading and whatnot. So could show you a little bit of what I have. So we'll go from right to left. From right there is a Sapphire 7950. It is overclocked. I have it overclocked with the specs of 1095 and 1795. So 1795 is the memory, and 1095 is the core clock, or whatever they call it. To the left of that, I have an ATI Radeon 5970. This one, oh, and just to let you know, with the 7950, the hashes that I'm getting off of that card alone, I believe are somewhere between 575 and 595. So the one to the left of it is a 5970. It is a dual GPU video card. I only have it slightly overclocked because this thing runs hot as hell. So I have it clocked to 750 core and 1030 memory. And I believe it's pulling about, I think it's pulling about 325 or maybe 350. We'll check here at the end and see. To the left of that, I have a HD 6870. I have that slightly overclocked at 880 frequency and 1030 memory, and at the very left, oh, and I think I'm hashing on that one, I think I'm hashing somewhere between 250 and 270. And then the one on the left is just a 6850, and I leave that one bone stock. I don't overclock it at all, because I found if I try to overstock it, or overclock it rather, then I'm running into invalid share issues, and I'm running into blue screens of death. So that one just stays right where it is. So the power supplies that I have are just two 850 power supplies. They're not really efficient. They're not gold standard or anything like that. And yes, I know I really should get some gold standard ones, and I plan on it. But this was pretty much for me just to be proof of concept. So I have them both running together, and then they run together through that little apparatus right there, which basically when you turn on one power supply, it lets the other power supply know that, hey, I need to fire on two. So each one of those power supplies are 850 watts, but because of the connectors that I have, I had to use two because I'm lacking a couple of connectors, and I wanted to go ahead and have all four cards running on this rig. The motherboard that I have, which is right here, and actually it's kind of hard to see, so I'm going to put it on this one, which is the exact same, but this rig is not fully built. This is an ASRock 970 Extreme 3. It has a low-end Pentium inside of it because I'm not CPU mining. You could hook 4 cards up to this, so it has 4 PCI Express slots. And it's been a pretty good board for me, to tell you the truth. I got both of these boards I did buy. They were, I think, I bought them for $40 a piece. So that was a pretty good deal. I've got underneath, I've got powered risers. Sorry that it got hot so much that the adhesive off of the foam for the risers, it kind of deteriorated, and I have to pull those little foamies off. And I'm probably going to end up doing a freestanding or a hanging rig. But for now, well, like I said, it was proof of concept. But it's got those little USB 3 cables, and then it's got the little, it's got little connectors that go into the PCIe slots, and then those go to the risers, and the risers are powered by a 4-pin connector. So that is basically what I have going on there. As far as the rig is concerned, it is stable, like I said. I was having trouble, like I said, trying to do a little bit of overclocking and whatnot. But now we go to the speeds of the cards. So it looks like the 7950 is right at about 597, fluctuating down to 593, somewhere around there. The 5970, one core is at 176. The other core is at 172. The 6870 is running right around 261. And the 6850 is running at between 209. Yeah, actually it seems to be hitting pretty steady at 209. So with all of these GPUs running, it's showing that I'm hitting right at about 1403 hashes. So that's 1.4 kilohashes for mining Monero. I don't know, not the greatest, not the worst, but considering that most of this was spare parts, and I know that it's not really efficient, so the my electrical costs are probably kind of up there. But it was proof of concept, and I plan on upgrading. Like I had said, I have this second rig that I'm building right here that I showed you the motherboard from. And I have a couple of cards as well that I will be popping in. There is another HD 5970 right there. There is another HD 6850 that I'll be popping in there. So I'll at least have a couple more cards. My plan is to order some more connectors, and I want to order some SATA connectors, SATA to 6-pin, so that I can try, it is my plan to try to run the 6850s and the 6870s all off of one power supply, because it's an 850 watt power supply. I'd really like to run one rig off of one power supply and the other rig off of another power supply. I do not have that kilowatt little pluggy deal to see how much I am drawing, but if I had to guess, and from the research that I've done online, it looks like the 7950 could pull anywhere from 230 watts at full load to maybe up to like 270. The 5970 is a little bit more power hungry. It says that it can pull anywhere from 300 to almost 400 watts depending. The 6870, from what I've researched, they said that that pulls about a little bit over 200 watts, and the 6850 they say pulls just under 200 watts. I really want to get one of those kilowatt plug-in dealies though, so I can actually see, just run each individual card, see what they're pulling at load, so that way I can get another power supply that can be dedicated for that. So if you have any questions, guys, feel free to post them in the comments below. And as I continue to refine my little ghetto rigs and maybe start up a mini farm, I will give you future videos, okay? So until then, happy mining.